Alright guys, Papa Pepper here today, just kind of reflecting on the fact that, I don't know, I always seem to be odd man out. It's very, very peculiar. I think that some of these things are just because the time I was a kind of, 15 to 25 probably, was pretty much a couple decades ago in some cases, it was a couple decades ago, and a lot's changed in our society since that time. And it's kind of, it may be part of growing up too, where you look at things differently when you're a kid than when you're a little bit older. But, back in the day, some of this was my naivety. But to be drunk and high constantly, and incredibly sexually immoral, and running around kind of with that leftover 60s and 70s type mindset of just, free love and other things. I used to live on a school bus with some guys, did a lot of drug dealing, a lot of other things. I was kind of this underbelly of society in some ways, that seemed to be rather rejected or marginalized by the status quo, is kind of the way that I viewed it. Now, as far as people involved in those activities, that was kind of the extreme end of it, not as far as it goes, obviously, but I think that a lot of people, even in those days, they enjoyed a certain level of those type activities. We just did a little more extreme. And then, now I grow up, I'm what they call a white male. I don't really believe I'm white. This would be an example of the color white, and you can notice the difference. I don't really believe in different races. I think that's an evolutionary viewpoint where, based on skin tone and ethnicities and things, people are actually different races. I don't believe in that at all. I believe there's the human race. But anyway, I'm a white male in their eyes. I'm heterosexual. I'm monogamous. I'm married, I'm having children, doing all these things that now I'm sober. I haven't had drugs or alcohol in over a decade now. And now it seems, being sober, being monogamous, being married, being male and staying male, being lighter skinned, not white, but a lighter skin tone, kind of really makes you odd man out again. And it's like, wow, no matter where my pendulum swings, no matter how deep into certain things I get or how far from them I get, I think that some of it has been just the change in society. And the one thing I will say, and I can speak from experience from a wide variety of lifestyles, and I've had my friends even in a wider variety of lifestyles as far as what they indulge or don't indulge in. But the thing is that I think the most powerful family is going to be the nuclear family. That's why they call it nuclear, I think. But there's a strength when you have strong families. The family is where certain values, morals, worldviews, things are passed on, or they're supposed to be. The education system realizes this, and they say that, when kids go to school at 5 or 6, in those days, it's probably younger now, right? But they've got they're sick because they've got an allegiance to their family and their culture, and the country. And, it's their job to fix it. They're not as much concerned with educating people, but more turning them into who they want them to be. A lot of that stuff is based on the Department of Labor. What do you want to be when you grow up? Which spoke in our wheel do you want to be? But I'll tell you what, a lot of people think of all these things as being their freedom. When you talk about just very loose sexual relations, when you talk about indulging in a variety of drugs and alcohol and other things. But the problem is that when you enslave yourself to a vice, you're really a willing slave. I don't think there's a lot of freedom in that, okay? When This may be different for other people, but when I drank alcohol every day. I would drink when I woke up often. I could not stop on my own. I was not free. When I smoked marijuana, it was, all day, every day for a decade, and if I couldn't find any, life became very difficult, very hard. I became very unfortunate to be around. I wasn't free in it. And same thing with the, just the loose sexual relationships. I mean, trying to get laid would be a full-time hobby. It didn't matter. Sometimes who, what, when, where, whatever. Really wasn't very free. Now, interestingly enough, I've got a lifetime supply of drugs and alcohol because I don't ever need any. Now I have a safe place to express myself in a certain physical realm, having a faithful monogamous relationship with my wife. And, I guess I'm definitely comfortable being the odd man out if that's going to be what's looked down on by society. So, I don't know. Can't help the way I was born. I was born as a male, and if that offends people, well, I don't really care. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to mutilate myself just to make them comfortable or something. And people have a problem with the color white. They can just remember I'm not. And if they got a problem with me, being married and having kids, well, again, they wouldn't want anyone coming along and telling them what they can and can't do, would they? Yet they want to look down on you. I don't know. Interesting day and age we live in, but just kind of reflected about that because, man, I live the totally opposite life now, but from society at large, it's almost the same end result. All right, for what it's worth, Papa out.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.